Hi. I want to chat quick today. I have not been live about this in a long time, but what I am personally noticing and what I recognize is that we are in spring. Who, if you're watching live or on the replay, who has trouble? Guys, I want pockets. There's no pockets in here. I keep going to put my hands in there and there's no pockets. Who has allergies in this time of year? Now, if you're in the Midwest right now, you're not having any allergies because it's a little too cold, but it's getting there. But who has allergies? Who notices that is real sensitive to that change in barometric pressure? We also start eating a little differently at this time of year. Hopefully, we're getting more fresh food, but sometimes just routines start to get out of whack because we've got kids sports and you're getting outside more and all the things that we start eating differently too. Well, if you are someone like myself who notices that those things change at this time of year, all of that is also going to impact your overall health. Okay. And about a year and a half ago now, I was at a low point of needing some desperate help, specifically to help me with severe migraines that I was having. Okay. Well, what I, up until that point, okay, I had tried very many over the counter types of things. And I had basically been told that I needed to try the medical grade CBD oils. And I did, but they still weren't doing what I needed them to do. And so then I was introduced to this amazing product that's called a whole flower fluid. And at that time, I did 2 drops and it worked. I was like, what? What? Like it was a placebo. I was like, there's no way. Like I didn't really have a migraine, which if you know my story, there's no way there is absolutely no way that it wasn't a true migraine because my migraines were so severe, so significant. The signs were so you knew them. You couldn't mistake them. Okay. So I tried it again. It worked again. I tried it again. It worked again. And I was just like, I don't get it. Why? Why is this working? And at that point, okay, so I had been treating in the clinic for 10 plus years. My specialty was in neurologic physical therapy. And over the last 3 years of clinic work, I had a number of patients coming to me asking me about the benefits of marijuana, the benefits of CBD. And I was like, oh, part of me wanted to be like, don't do it. And then, I kind of looked it up and there was some research and all the things, but I was just like, I don't know. I was really, really skeptical. I was I was like, I don't know. I was really weary of anything that said THC. I was like, oh, if this is THC, I'm out. Like, I'm not going anywhere near it. All of that was due to misconceptions. It was a misconception of what the product was, of why it was beneficial, of the medicinal value, and I hadn't actually done enough research. I hadn't actually looked into it. I had had my thought process, my personal opinion, what I believe to be true, and it turns out I didn't have the full story. So I want to share with you a couple of misconceptions. Okay. One is that oils are the best for you. And while oils absolutely can be beneficial, and there are thousands of people that get medicinal benefit from hemp-based oil products, okay? The reason that they aren't the best is because our bodies have to break down that oil in order to get to the medicinal benefit, and many of us are deficient in the enzymes of our gut that need to break down that. Now, caveat to say, one of the reasons that you are told with oils to hold it in your mouth for a certain period of time is because you also have enzymes in your mouth that can help to break down those oils. So, because our mouth is the beginning of our gut function. So that's number one. If something is water soluble, though, like a whole flower fluid, that is water soluble, meaning that you can drop it in water, you can stir it, you can see the color change, it dissolves right there. You don't have to hold it in your mouth. When you drink it or put it in your mouth, put it in your tongue, it's going to immediately be available at a 60 to 90% absorption rate versus a 6 to 9% absorption rate of an oil because your body has to break down that oil first. Okay, so that's misconception number one, the oil. Okay, the next one, and the biggest one, the one I get the most questions about, is the THC. There should be at least the smallest amount of THC, and I'm not going to get super sciencey here, within the product. And the legal limit, so that it does not have to be classified as medical grade, is less than 0.3%. Now, the particular one that I use that has been the most beneficial for me has less than 0.03% or less than 0.01% in it. And that's because we have something called a certificate of analysis that you can look at the breakdown of it in every batch made. So there's a super small amount. The other component of this, though, is the extraction process. So the medicinal benefit of the plant is extracted through a cold press, which means that the THC is not heated. You don't smoke it, right? You're putting the drops in your mouth. The heat is what activates it to its psychoactive state. Okay, it's what changes the chemical makeup. It's what changes it to become psychoactive. So when that does not happen, it is just another cannabinoid, another part of the plant. The other thing is that you hear CBD and you think, oh, that's hemp. It is, but this is the misconception. CBD is just one cannabinoid. There are over 90, and that number may have changed too, different cannabinoids that can be found within a hemp plant. If you have a product that only has one cannabinoid, the plant has been modified first and foremost, okay? And to get just that cannabinoid within the extraction, and not the plant itself. It has extracted just that cannabinoid, okay? And the cannabinoids, think about it, if the plant was designed to be a whole plant, it is designed to work together synergistically with each other. When you start to extract out pieces, you change the effectiveness of that plant. There's studies on this, that when you start to mess with the cannabinoid composition, it changes who it can help. And that's because within our bodies, our receptors have different, receive different cannabinoids, and CBD only acts on some. It doesn't act on all. When you have a whole flower, whole plant product, you're getting all the cannabinoids that will work on all of the receptors throughout the whole body, and you're going to get the systemic effects. Here's the biggest misconception. I might have said this with THC. I'm changing it. This is the biggest misconception. Everyone is going to have an immediate response to this product. I was blessed, grateful, all of the things to have that kind of experience because I needed it that time. And I don't know why my body responded that way, but it did. And it led me to a whole host of other things. Okay. However, when this product is used for something such as most chronic illnesses, chronic pain, chronic sleep issues, chronic being that you have had it for more than 6 months, okay, chronic fibromyalgia, chronic gut dysfunction, chronic. You have had it, and most people, it hasn't just been 6 months, right? It's probably been years. I'm hearing my kids. I think they're playing. Okay, they're just playing. It is going to take, the rule of thumb is it's going to take at least half the time in months. So if you've had it for 6 months, it's going to take at least 3 months. If you've had it for 12 years, it's going to take at least 6 months, at least, at minimum, to start to see changes in the body when you've had a chronic illness of that kind. So the expectation of immediate relief of this is going to change right away. I'm only going to use 4 days, or I'm only going to use it for a week, or I'm only going to use it for a month even, is not realistic if you're looking for that long-term benefit. I think of it because I've been talking with my husband about investments a lot lately, which makes my head hurt. My brain hurts from it. But I think of it like this. If I invest $1,000 and I'm doing it for the long-term gains, and I don't see $2,000 in my account within a week, I'm not going to pull that investment right away, right? Because I'm looking for the long term. And things like this that have to work internally need that long term process to really start to show the change. The other thing is if you've recently dealt with something that has degraded your body, and you're looking to not only get back to where you were, but then get up and above, you've got to give it that long-term chance. Okay. You've got to give it that. I always say it's a minimum of 90 days, minimum of 90 days. And if you've been dealing with a lot of things, with multiple things, if it's more than one issue that you've got, it might be longer, but you really won't know what type of change is occurring unless you give it that opportunity. So I hope that this was helpful. I'd love any questions. I can't see comments, but if you got questions, if you've got, responses, anything like that, I'd love to know. Did you have a misconception? Did you think of it one way, and has this changed your mind at all? So let me know that, and I hope that everyone is having a wonderful Tuesday.